All right. Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the late start. Let's get to it. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Uh, Not much. Market's flat here. So yesterday was kind of, I guess, a little bit of a corrective day, inside day. Hey, good morning, everyone. Um, yeah. Oh, charts. Yeah. Thank you, Dan. All right. There we go. So I'll start with the Dow here. It's up a little bit. No biggie. So not sure what to expect here today. Um, I kind of thought yesterday things could kind of take off. Remember the acceleration? But probably going to stay within that green bar's range, the high and low. Let's take a look at the cues. They're just a stall there, not doing anything. Starting to form a little bit of a trading range. So the idea is, with the intro slide, time for a trend review. Because sometimes we all get a little too I don't know, involved, hyped about one day. I know, like yesterday, I thought things could really start to take off, and they didn't. So I said, putting the brakes on. So it's constantly been this, choppy price action. But the reason for that thinking was, here was the accelerated move, you know, 2 bar correction, another chop, a bottoming tail bar, a little bit of an up move here, and we're back into the chop again. So this just market just continues to deal with this slow grind. S&P's up a little bit, narrow range day. This one has better possibilities. It backed off at the end of the day. Financials were up, doing better yesterday, and they backed off at the end of the day. You see the topping tail after moving above the prior high. So, I mean, 1 bar doesn't change trends. It didn't close under a prior bar's low. So just kind of a day, like I said, put the brakes on. Why? Who knows? Constructive weekly time frame. Looks like it can continue to go up. Russell, that was a little bit of a surprise to see a down bar closing that deep into the prior breakout bars. We're pushed above the highs. And we got to see this weekly chart. Does it turn into a full topping tail? Right now, it's nothing. And you can, looking at this on a closing basis, if you can just kind of see that in your mind's eye, nothing's moved in a month. Um, so while we day to day look at this, up bar that suggested up, now is a down bar. It's just running in place. It's doing nothing. So nothing happening there either. Gold, deep retracement down. Looked like it was going to get to the top of the range. No, it certainly doesn't. Stuck in the middle of the range. Thank you for that. Silver pulling back a little bit. We just, looking at broader market sectors and so on, we don't really have much going on. Summer doldrums. Oil flip-flopping all over the place. Let's look at copper. We don't look at copper too often. And we did over here in the green room. Metals and mining ETF started moving up. So that stalled. The power isn't coming from gold. It's coming from palladium. We had that in an ETF for a while. I don't know, Dan, if we still do palladium. Not silver, steel. Well, silver moved up. And, yeah. Interest rates, same story. It's just really getting old. Big trading range, little trading range, middle of the range. So there's, just communicates uncertainty. There isn't much happening here. Waiting for Trump, the Fed. I'm sure you probably saw that um, not interview. He went to go look at the new Fed building, and he's sitting there with Powell. And I'm thinking to myself, you call this guy stupid. You called him a dummy. You said you got 1,000 people there. You don't need him. You need one smart guy. It's all over waste. And I was there walking around with the guy. Anyway, all right. Transport's just marking time. Got to get things moving here, man. Industrials, you know, that gap down. So there was this gap down, and here it was on the gapping down to this support level. And so my thinking initially yesterday was, you can look at the 15 minutes sitting on the support. Oh, chop around for a while. It'll go down here and fill the gap. No, no, went up and then just chopped around all day. So that was kind of a nothingness. And the cues, I kind of thought, well, they just chopped around doing a lot of nothing all day too. Nothing happening there. And unchanged this morning. And we don't have much to go on to predict. Let's look at our market internals. Just neutral, right? Sentiment still hanging up there. Breath. This is not a good sign. Meaning, S&P's making new all-time highs, and I still wouldn't rule out it hitting 6,400. And yet yesterday, the high volume strike in the SPX calls was up there, and it did not get there. Most days it has, so that was a little bit of a disappointment, and it didn't keep going, and it backed off. And so breath is dead neutral, but the fact that it's down here and the S&Ps are pushing up and the Qs are pushing up, it's just underlying weakness. Well, but trend is a trend. Not violated. Warnings could be all over the place, right? So let's see, where's SPY? Gapping up a teeny bit. SPX. Yesterday, nothing to be touched. And again, I put on the thing so you could load your charts if you want to. They won't be shown until I take mine down. 63.20. So up a little bit. Normal. Nothing unusual. Oh, 6,400. Okay. Same up 10. So if we can get something going on the upside, a 64.10 strike or 64.05 should be good. That's it. We'll see what happens. All yours, Dan. There's Dan there. I guess he'll return any moment, folks. Look, 6,400, Hugo. But if the market should move up, that should be able to get something up above there. But let's see if things get moving. I'll look at a few indices while we're waiting for Dan. Let's see what the FANGs are doing. Tesla down, marking time. Nvidia maybe moves up. Amazon broke out. Alphabet. Let's put them on 5 minutes and see what they're doing. This is pre-market. You can see they're not doing much of anything here. We're waiting for you, Dan.
Oh, I didn't hear the turnover. All right, good morning. All right, we got a lot of earnings. Not too many alarms, but let's do our routine. Happy Friday. 0 DTE. But with the VIX low, it's been more difficult finding good premium. I have in the middle chart here, FANG alarm. We both bought the stock and did a put spread yesterday, gapping up. A couple of oils were up. PSX had earnings. No, I don't know if it's going up on that, but that's a nice gap. That's a nice gap after a retest, gapping over resistance. Put that on the list. Tossed, yep, we're long tossed. I'm not crazy about how it's been trading. I mean, look, up, down, up, down, up, down. But it is bullish all time frames, and we're long. GE launch, yeah, sloppy. TTD. I would love it if it didn't have this prior high right there. Right, GPN alarm. I just sent out an alert to raise the stop under yesterday's low. Nice gap. We bought that on today's Friday, I guess on Wednesday or Thursday, I forget. BAC alarm, we're in trail mode. We got a stop here that's pretty darn close to the stop. But that's okay. We had long calls that expired today. We sold half in the strength. BITO, we actually sold a put spread, and that's gapping down with Bitcoin. Just keep the stops under 22. MSOS back in the picture. Has to get over these highs, but my up alarm went off. Has to get over 290, so it's right here. Onion was a beautiful closing short, and this is gapping up. So I immediately looked at earnings saying, did we miss earnings? I don't know why it's gapping up. So, stop is over Tuesday's high. And COP up alarm. We have a put spread on this, and we're in trail mode doing well. Let's go to earnings now. Those are all my alarms. Starting with Intel dog. Look at this dog. Yeah, they have just gotten creamed. They used to be the NVIDIA of the semis and the NASDAQ back in the 90s, and they sure lost their way. They said they're going to cut 15% staff. I got no interest in that dog. NEM's been on a tear. Gapping a 63 though, no pattern. And I already deleted a bunch of these. So if you have any questions on something. Now this one, inside bar, I have an alarm at 1340. Echo Whiskey, 82, gap's too big, but it's bullish. Daily, weekly, monthly, it's an igniting gap. That's an igniting gap. See, we define igniting as starting a new move. So it can be from up to down, sideways to up, sideways to down. And this is sideways, and now it's an igniting gap up. So that's a buy on a pullback. And put spread. Deck was we said beautiful, well, not beautiful, but potential bottoming pattern. Now gapping up here to 118. That's a put spread idea on a pullback. Whiskey Yankee paper. It's a potential bottoming pattern, but a garbage one. No interest. It's orc. I know it's just visual, but it looks like it's going to stall there at the 200, which would still not be a bad trade. Four we did yesterday. We had a home run trade on this. This was the only earnings trade I did, and I gotta say, we rarely buy options as earnings trade. It's mostly selling them. But here's why I did it. Look at this beautiful inverse head and shoulder on the weekly. I mean, I'm not trading the monthly, but that's a bottoming pattern. And it was breaking out on the daily. So we bought the slightly in the money $9 calls, and it ripped last night. So we shorted stock to hedge our gain. So we have a locked in beautiful gain, and then I'll just monitor it to to unhedge it and try to squeeze out even more money. Boyd 80. There's an igniting gap too. Gapping over a red bar. That I like. Get rid of Fang here. Now this would be a beautiful put spread, 0 DTE put spread if there's any juice. Yeah, QBTS is actually posted already. Yeah, it's a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so that did not trigger yesterday. It's good to go. A Slim Shady is a closing breakdown. So this would be a beautiful 1, 2, 3. Or since it's gapping up now, you can short yesterday's low for a day trade. DLR, kind of a grinder, but it's bullish daily, weekly. I can't tell where it's opening. LVB 41, so put spread idea under the week's low. This likes to extended Mohawks in the kind of the housing sector. 119 gap in the 200. Put spread idea under Tuesday if there's any premium. Nice retest breakout weekly. Mike Charlie. Up too much for me, no pattern. Pattern 150 bullish gap, no pattern. Go 115. Yeah, trading range. Kind of more like a short-term. If you can get a 0 DTE condor, would be good. VeriSign open fairly flat. Trading range in an uptrend. This is a bull rectangle, but it has a big void. Will it break up or down? I don't know. You could set alarms either way. Sky West. I don't see any prints, but it's showing at 113.50. It's gapping resistance on FIX, FIX. Now this is a very bullish gap, but it's what I call excessive. What does excessive mean? Well, look on the chart, it's monster. So a 30-minute low, call spread idea. Or, day trade short, you can always day trade if you get a good pattern. BVN 1794. This is actually a very, it's like a 3-bar bull flag. After this 1, 2, 3 breakout, bullish weekly. So that's bullish BVN. FPH. That's up a bunch. Oh, we both had Alex and Sam earnings today. Who's gonna win? Sam, which ones looks better to you? Percentage wise, gapping up $1. That's five. That's huge. That's 5% on Alex. Well, let's go. Well, here's Sam right here. Sam, we've been saying was a potential W bottom over here. We would have bought it over here, but for earnings, look at the retest on the weekly after a climb up, gapping up to 230. Gap's too big. But I was trying to sell puts on that yesterday, but didn't get filled. It was too spready. QB, if this opens flat, you can short a 5-minute low, day trade. That's an M top. Let me set an alarm on QB. That's 6138. TX. A potential bottoming pattern, but it has to break out. But potential. That's the most sure breakout failure, gapping up. Well, now it's a gap breakout. But that has some room. Maybe only to 25 though. But that would be a good spread idea. Gap it over a red bar. And these are all earnings in the morning. HCA, look at that nasty 1, 2, 3 right there. I mean, but for earnings, that would have been a short yesterday. Now it's gapping here to support. It's still an ugly gap, still came down hard. But let's see if buyers stuff up. Possible 30-minute high, 0 DTE put term. AON, this was one I said could trade up or down, whichever way it broke. And now it's breaking to the upside. So put spread idea. I don't like the directional at all. Charter 330. It's an ugly gap. Ugly. But I'm gonna put it on my list. Again, 30-minute high, maybe 0 DTE. There's the PSX I mentioned I like. This CNC was down this morning. Look at $23. And I was thinking today might be the day for a reversal. So they must have had a conference call because that's quite a reversal there. We've been watching this Mo. Also, was getting killed. Look at the volume on this yesterday. Now, I would feel more confident in the volume if this were fluid down, but this increase in volume occurred from believe it or not, a continuation pattern. So that's still in the emergency room. SXT is bullish. I'll set an alarm at 109.70. Yeah, I'm not expecting much today with the horseman, that's for sure. All right, almost done here. Market about to open. This was going to be my favorite long. Look this morning, you all. Look at my horizontal line at 24. If it opened at 24, I was going to say buy 5-minute high. But now the rippage messed it up. The rippage. MTX alarm. There you go. I said, let's see if it can break out. But the problem is It's a gap and go. I don't do gap and goes. I mean, unless there's one exception, unless it's a beautiful pre-market, and then I'll even buy a pre-market. CRI Carter's. They are not doing something right. Look at that, 72 down to 25. That is ugly. TNAB, no pattern. All right, I'm almost done here. And this one I wanted to sell puts on yesterday. But the spreads were crazy, so I didn't get filled. Pattern extended, Leah. Call spread. If there's any juice up there, I doubt it because it's far away. But that looks good for call spread. A BAC alarm. All right, BAC stopping out at a gain. Go ahead and take it. They expired today. We had the 46.5 calls. Yeah, I can figure out what it is because it's going to be, I'll do it later. It's going to be intrinsic value plus a few pennies. That's what the price should be, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. So that's stuff down. Sierra Bravo alarm. Why did my alarm go up on this? We've been along this. Here's another one with a beautiful inverse head and shoulder on the weekly. Just perfect example of multiple time frame alignment. But we were trading the daily. But the weekly supports it, the bias with a void. So that's why I hold more conviction to my daily pattern when your daily looks like this. You all see? So we actually bought this thing over here and we added to it on Wednesday. I'm talking about Wednesday. The new Netflix show is coming out soon. Part 3. MLI up alarm. This was Alex trade. Let me set a break-even alarm now. Our cost basis 87.33, so we're up $1. Wow, IWM, thank you. First 5 minutes. Look at that ugly bar. 87.33. A QB low alarm I mentioned. That was an earnings trade, day trade short. QB, no, I don't like the gap up. No. For me to want to short that, I wouldn't. No, I don't like it. So that's why. Yeah, it's bullish. There's another regional bank I had on my list that looks similar, maybe a tad better, but I forget what it is. We'll find it later. An ADM low alarm. Ah, shoot, Greg, this is the one I was thinking of killing, break even. But then you said we're not swinging. ADM or stop 53.78. All right, those are, no, I still gotta put more alarms. All right, GPN. I already moved stop. So nothing to do now. Actually, my up alarm went off again. So let's set it to 86. Low alarm 84. EPN, our cost basis. Actually, let's move it break even then. That's big enough gap. Void. Nah, I don't like the way it came slamming in. Although it'd still be an adequate put spread for today only. Void. There's no weeklies, so forget about it. Roblox. Yeah, to buy a setup for EuroTrack 2050. My only, I always look for negatives also, right? And let me ask everybody. Let me phrase the question right. Remember, I just gave you two examples of wonderful multiple time frame alignment. Does this support the daily? Exactly. That's my concern. Exactly. That's my concern. If this, Alex, if this were right here, this 1, 2, 3, close to the 20 and avoid, then totally different interpretation of the daily. Exactly. STZ. Yeah, I love it. It's not a 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know why? Of course you do, because they're not inside bars. But, and that's with one T, not two T's. One T, it's bullish, small little cup and handle in the top 90% of a WRB. So it's still very tradable. It's just, I'm just talking definitions. It's not a 1, 2, 3 because they aren't inside bars. But let's just, since I have a microphone, I can talk and explain it. That Pelletier, oh, STZ. I'll set an alarm, STZ. How about 176.40? Yeah, mentioned Pelletier. Yeah, yeah. So 1, 2, 3 all-time highs. Yeah, that's one of these Wall Street love stocks now. Wow, it's core. Man, that's an igniting. Look at the volume in 9 minutes. Look at that volume. Wow, so I thought I was a hero. I'm shorting stock to hedge. Now I'm capping our gains, but that's all right. That's the management we did. Wow, that's an amazing move. What about this fix I mentioned? Nah, they don't have any weeklies. I wouldn't do a call spread on that. That's another one of those, Thomas. You're just getting on board a moving train. Look at the weekly. Let's see, the weekly was different than that one that I looked at with Alex, a possible wide range ending, whereas this one, you don't have a wide range ending yet. You just have a climb. So that's why I say you just, getting on board a moving train, which was fine. Not my style. I'd rather buy something that has more igniting characteristics instead of a moving train. Remember that Cree regional banks? No problem. Look, that kind of turned into a little on top there. So see where else. Oh, Arbido, I don't like at all. Arc B alarm. All right, so this one is stopping break even, I think. Hold on. ETF letter. Arc B 38.47. Yeah, so we're out of this break even. I don't like all the, that's a breakdown now. It's a breakdown. So why just pull it out of the inventory and be done with it? At zero loss. No, I take that back. It's a nice huge gain. My bad. We had a nice gain. And we sold a third at 40.44. So we got a beautiful gain. $39.12. Low alarm on Fang, but that's just an early alarm. That's what I always do. It is a beautiful 1, 2, 3, Norman. I just don't like the location of it. Because of this gap down, that's going to be your target. So I don't like the reward to risk for a directional, but over today's high, I like it as a put spread. So we'll go out to next week and just eyeballing down here. We could do the 51s for next week. I can see the oils coming in here. Solar selling off. Get tan 15-minute chart. All right, hymns 51 next week. 62. I like it. All right, I'll set an alarm at 58 and then come back to the bull is not easy to trade. Look at this. We bought that little breakout. Now it's a deep retracement. Power downtrend on the 15. So